fullest potential and nothing is left out. All right, so let's get this going. The first thing that I want to say is right now I am using the Google Chrome web browser, and that is the preferred browser that we would like you to use at home just to make it a little bit easier on you and it works a little bit better, a little bit smoother. All right. All right. So, the first thing that we're going to go over tonight is logging in. Some of you have logged in, but I've noticed that a lot of you haven't, which is perfectly fine. You're here to learn about it tonight, and hopefully, you'll be able to log in with no issues after this. All right. When you open up your browser, up at the top, you'll notice your web address bar. If you click up there, we want to type in classroom.google.com. Again, that's classroom.google.com. Now, if this is your first time ever going to this site, you'll get this really weird looking page. Now, that's fine because after you log in the first time, you'll go directly to the Classroom site. Up here in the top right corner, you'll see sign in. If you just hover over that, you'll notice that this little drop down menu pops up. Click on Google Classroom, and that will take you to the sign in page. So again, we're over here on this site, and when you hover over the sign in button, it'll have that drop down menu, and you can click on Google Classroom, and it will open up a new page for you. If you haven't already been given your email, now this is an email that has been created by the school for you, so you don't have to create anything new. It's going to be very simple. It's basically your same login as iReady. It's first initial, last initial, and then whatever your lunch number is, 6 digits, at gccas.org. Again, first initial, last initial, 6-digit lunch number at gccas.org. We're going to click on the next button here, and it'll take you to your password screen. Now, to make this even easier for you, your password is the same thing as your login for your email. And I'm going to show it. Again, same thing. First initial, last initial, and your 6-digit lunch number. We're not going to use the at gccas.org because that's only for your email. All right. Click on next. We'll X out of that. Now this page right here is your welcome to your new account, and you can take the time to read it over when you first sign in if you would like to, but just really quickly, you're accepting to the terms of service that Google has set up, and you're just basically agreeing to use this as a student account. All right. So we'll click on accept. And again, the first time that you sign in is the only time you'll ever have to do that. All right. Make sure that you are the one that is signing in here and click on continue. And of course, you're a student. So we'll click on student. All right. Here we are at the main page. All right. This is where you're going to see all of the classes that you have been invited to. As of right now, most every teacher has set up all of their classes and they have invited you. So this is the first thing you're going to see when you log in. You'll notice on each of these classes, I have been invited to join or decline. All right, so we have two options. If for whatever reason you do not recognize your teacher, then you can always hit decline, and if you made a mistake, they can always re-invite you later on. All right, so I'm actually going to join all of these, but I'm going to do them one at a time. So we'll hit join on Mr. Long's ELA class first. When you hit join, sometimes it takes a little while. It pops right up with this, and it even gives you some helpful hints that pop up once in a while if it's your first time doing this or that, whatever you're doing. Sometimes it helps you. So we're just going to exit out of that for right now. To go back to that page and accept all of your other classes one at a time, we're going to click on this little icon here, which has the 3 bars in the top left corner. And then we're going to click on classes. So again, that's your 3 bars in the top left corner. and then click on Classes, and it brings you right back to the main screen. Again, I'm going to join all of the other ones. It takes a little while, of course. And then go back to Classes and keep joining. This takes a little while. Now, while you're joining the classes, you'll notice that when it opens up, some of them have things that are assigned already, and some of them don't. All right, now, this one has some stuff in there. This one has some stuff in there. But if your teacher has not put anything in yet, you'll notice that the screen is, well, pretty blank, right? Pretty bare. But it's okay because we will see that pop up when your teacher puts something up there. Okay? Now, for middle school and elementary, there was a question about how the block and period will look when it is set up. Kindergarten, first, second, third, and fourth. Again, that's kinder through fourth grade. You will be having the same teacher the entire day. So you will see your classes based on subject, but they'll all have the same teacher. And then fifth grade through eighth grade, that's fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth grade, will all have a rotation schedule. So you're going to see different teachers for different subjects, and you'll see each teacher differently for the class, and it will be labeled by their subject and their name, and anything else that they have as identification for that class. All right. So here, for instance, I have Mr. Bavacqua History. But if we go back to classes, here's Mrs. Long Math. Now, this isn't obviously necessarily the way that they're going to be set up, but you'll be able to know who your teacher is because the teacher name will show up right here. So you'll notice it says Mrs. Long on every single one of them. That's because I created them. So when you see your teachers, like Mr. Perino's science class, here it will also say Mr. Perino because he's the one who created it. If you have Mr. Bavacqua, his name will come here. Mrs. Long, her name will be here. And then Mr. Long, same thing. And then whatever teacher that you have, their name will show up there. Hopefully that answered that question. Good question. All right, so again, let's take a look at a blank class. Now, nothing is put up here. That's because there are no assignments posted. So don't be nervous if you don't see anything. It's not that you've joined the wrong class. It's just that your teacher hasn't put anything up yet. All right. So see when new assignments are posted. This is where everything that are updates or classwork will be posted, and you'll be able to see it. So let's go into a class that actually does have something posted. Yay, Google Classroom Practice. All right. Here you will see the stream is quite filled, actually. And there's a difference between how some of these look. Some of these have little icons, and they have the names of whatever the classwork is. Or it will have your teacher's icon. Now, some of your teachers have put up images as their profile pictures, some haven't. So as long as you don't see one of these, it's most likely your teacher putting up some sort of announcement for you. Like here, I said, welcome to the Practice Google Classroom. All right. Each of these assignments here can be opened on this page, like such. And again, one of those little hints will pop up. But let's go back into the classroom. Let's take a look at the Classwork tab as a whole, okay? So again, here we are on our Stream tab. Then we're going to go over to our Classwork tab over here. And again, another helpful hint. All right. Your Classwork tab can be split up in different ways. It can be split up in different topics, either by subject or by lesson or by topic, depending on what your teacher has set up for you specifically in their classroom. Here I have my math class, of course, and we're learning about fractions, geometry, multiplication, vocabulary, and then I have a place for homework. All right, so let's take a look at fractions first. Here I have given a workbook assignment. Now, when you see your classwork here, everything that is associated or connected to fractions will go under fractions. Hopefully, your teacher will put it there. I don't know. Sometimes I'm a little forgetful. So, once in a while, you'll have to really pay attention to what it is. But we'll make it work, right? If I click on the assignment, it opens up a slightly expanded view. Now, it shows when it was posted, it gives you some instructions, and it shows that it's assigned. Up here, there's no due date for this particular assignment, but if there was, it would have a date and time if that is what they put in for when this assignment is due. Down here where it says View Assignment, this is where we're going to click to actually be able to open the assignment. And then we will be able to add things or create things, put comments in. Here is your private comments box. Now, this is a private comment that only goes between you and the teacher. No one else will be able to see this. It's something if, say, you were in the actual classroom, you just raised your hand and the teacher walked over to you, same exact thing, except now it's just over text message. Okay, so it'll go directly to their Google Classroom account as well, and they'll be able to see that it's from you and be able to reply back as a private conversation. All right, so breaking this down a little bit more, you have your assignment title, who it's posted by, and when and how many points it's worth. It could be ungraded, it depends on your assignment. And then the instructions are right here. Please complete pages 13 and 14 in your workbook. All right. How are you going to answer this? Well, it depends. It depends on what kind of assignment that you have. Right now, this is an assignment where you will have to either add something or create something. In order to add, let's say it was a workbook page and I wanted to take a picture of it with my phone and I wanted to upload it so that you can grade it, all you have to do is make sure that your picture is either A, on your Google Drive, or B, on your computer, unless you're working off of the phone or tablet, iPad, what have you, as long as it is somewhere on your system. Okay? We'll click on Add or Create, and this huge menu pops up. Okay, don't be scared, because this is a lot less than it looks. Google Drive is if you uploaded it to your Google Drive, which every single student has their own personal Google Drive folder. You can have a link. Let's say you created a YouTube video, you uploaded it to YouTube, and you want your teacher to see that. Perfectly fine. Just click on the link like I will now. And you'll be able to paste the URL or the website address here and then click Add Link. I don't have a URL right now. Also, file is something that is on your computer or your phone that is not uploaded to the internet already. Okay, that'll be your file picker where you can go to your documents or your desktop, or if you're on your phone, you can look through your images gallery and then upload it from there. If, for instance, they're asking you to create something new, you can go down to these four and select whichever one applies to that particular assignment. Documents, Google Docs is very, very similar to Microsoft Word. Google Slides is very similar to Microsoft PowerPoint. And then Google Sheets is very similar to Microsoft Excel. All of these are online, which is perfect because they save directly to the online portion. And you don't have to worry about saving it. That's the worst thing, isn't it? When you accidentally forget to charge your laptop or something and the battery dies and then you have to go back to it, right? Well, this is perfect because if you accidentally exit out, it saves for you. Okay. So I will get into that in a second, how to create these things. Google Drawings is probably something that you won't use quite as much, but it is something where you can create things with shapes and lines and text and all of that good stuff. But for now, we will show this as mark as done. And then it'll say, you didn't attach any work. Oh, no. Well, maybe I didn't want to attach any work, and my teacher just said, mark it as done when you're done, and then it's just something that you show over the camera when you're doing Google Meet or something, okay? Here's one thing you really need to remember about that, though. That doesn't necessarily mean you handed anything in. Yeah, I gave you that warning, but if you meant to attach something to it and you were just rushing through it and all of a sudden your teacher says, "Hey, I noticed, hey, it's not due until Friday, but you didn't attach anything to it. Maybe that was a mistake." Sometimes, depending on the assignment, you can go back and unsubmit it, unsubmit again, and then add it there. All right. So mark is done does not mean you turned in something and completed it. All right. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my classwork tab. And all I did was click on the name up here in the top left and then click back on classwork. And to close out of this expanded view, I can just click on the name again and it goes away. All right, now we're in our geometry topic. Whew, geometry, the bane of all students' existence, even mine, don't worry. Here we can open it up again, and you'll notice that it says view question. That's a little bit different than view assignment, right? Well, a question is something that you can answer directly on Google Classroom. You don't have to do anything that deals with uploading stuff or anything like that, okay? Now, we can view the question and type it in over here, but I'm going to put that on hold for 1 second because I see that we have a couple questions that I don't want to forget to answer. One of them is, where do we send our assignments? Can it be like docs in PowerPoint or does it have to be in Google? Now, the nice thing about this is when you upload if you upload a Microsoft PowerPoint to Google, the nice thing about it is that it will convert it or change it into something that can be opened by Google, like Google Slides, for instance. So yeah, you can definitely 100% upload your Google, your Microsoft things like PowerPoint and Word up into your Google Drive and then submit it from there. Hopefully that answers that question. And the other question is, how do I get my email? I don't have one yet. Hopefully your teacher will be sending that in within the weekend, but if they do not, again, it's the same thing for every student. It will be your first initial, your last initial, and then your student number. So again, that's your first initial, last initial, student number. Excuse me. All right. So back to this again. Thank you for those questions. Those are great questions. Keep them coming. Back to this. How can we tell if a shape is a quadrilateral? All right. There may or may not be instructions. It could be something very straightforward that your teacher puts up here. But what you're going to do is over here it says your answer. Now, this is for questions only. Okay. You can click on type your answer, and let's say that I want to write in something, anything. I'm just typing some gibberish right now. But I want to answer it. Now, when I put this answer in, I'm going to hit turn it in. However, look at the warning. You won't be able to make changes. Oh boy. You won't be able to make changes to your answer after you submit. You cannot take it back. You cannot edit it. You cannot do another answer. Just be very careful what you're typing and what you're putting in, okay? If you're very, very 150% sure, not even 100%, 150% sure, hit turn it in. And it will show that it's been turned in and it will show your answer. Now, the good thing about this, I know that it's a really tiny line, right? But you can write as much as you need to. Of course, I'm sure your teacher will probably say limit it to say 2 or 3 sentences, but there is no, as we would say, character count. So you can type in 25 sentences and they can be 25 words long in each sentence and it will still accept it. Okay? Now, probably at that point, you'll probably want to use a Google document. All right. That is a question. Again, on every single classwork that you are assigned, there is a private comment section. So let's say that I want to ask my teacher, I do not remember what a quadrilateral is. Okay. All I have to do is type it in there, and then I'll click this little arrow, and you'll notice it says post right there. That will send it. You will be able to see what your comment is. You'll be able to see what your name is, what time it was posted, what you wrote, and then when your teacher writes back, it will look the same exact way, except it will have their name, the time they wrote it, and what they write. Okay, so it's kind of like a private messaging, direct messaging service. Okay, questions have this little icon right here. It has a little speech bubble, question mark, and that's how you know that it is a question. Questions are pretty easy. All right, so again, to get back to your main page, you'll click on the name of the class up here. You'll notice that my little cursor goes from an arrow to a hand. And then we'll go back to classwork. All right, I have submitted a question. I've answered it. I'm done with it. You'll notice that it turns into a light gray icon. You'll know that you finished it based on that. And also, if I click on here, it says turned in. If I go down here to the next one, it still says assigned, which means I haven't done anything with it yet, or I haven't at least completed it and turned it in yet. So again, turned in means that I have already submitted any work or answer, depending on what it is. Okay? All right. Now we're going into multiplication. But on multiplication, I have a quiz. Multiplication quiz. Oh, multiplication, man. You'll notice that it opens up Google Forms. Okay, Google Forms is not anything that you have to pay for. It's built into your Google Classroom and it works awesome. Okay, so don't worry about having to open up anything new, having to sign into anything else. It's built into your classroom. Okay, so let's open it up right here. When you open this, you can either click View Assignment or you can open it up directly from here. So let's click on View Assignment just to make sure we're looking at what we... Oh, look at that. See? I was ahead of it. I got that hint already done for you. Again, you'll be able to see how much it's worth, who it was posted by, at what time, and if you're done with it. Now, don't click Mark as done. Mark is done and you haven't done the quiz yet, your teacher's going to see that you haven't done anything and then hopefully follow up with you and, make sure that you get that done, okay? Blank quiz. Let's click on it and open it up. You'll notice that it opens a new tab. And then you'll see up here the title, which I left it as blank quiz when I made it, but maybe I could have called it lesson 1 or something like that. You'll see your email address, and then in parentheses, it has the address that you're logged in with, hopefully, will be recorded when you submit this form. If it's not you, let's say for whatever reason you have a sibling at home and they were logged in and somehow it switched over, the system glitches. It happens sometimes. Easy fix. Click on Switch Account, and then you'll be able to sign out and log into your account. Okay? Now, quizzes work pretty much the same way as they will as if you have a physical sheet of paper or a physical packet in front of you, okay? You have a question. Sometimes you'll be able to see how much it's worth when you're taking a quiz in class, but here you'll be able to see how much it's worth definitely on a Google Form quiz. Circles, that's a multiple choice. There's going to be one answer. Let's see, 2 times 2. Well, 2 times 2, let's say it's 3. Oh, no, I'm sorry, it's not 3. Let's clear my selection. Clear selection right here takes your answer away and allows you to choose something else. I think 2 times 2 is 4, right? Well, instead of clearing selection, I could always click the other one. Clear selection just erases everything altogether. Okay? I think it's 4, actually. Scroll down. Which equations equal 24? Okay. I always tell my kids, if there's an S, more than 1, okay? And that's where these check boxes come in. Notice how they are boxes rather than circles. Boxes allow you to select more than one. You can click anywhere like I just did. You don't even have to click on the box. I clicked in that general invisible line, right? Click here, and you'll notice I was able to select more than one. All right. I think that 3 times 8 and 6 times 4 are the only answers. I can choose to get a copy of my responses, but I'm not going to. When I'm done, I have to hit submit. Response submitted and assignment marked as done. It automatically does it for you, which is perfect because I don't have to remember to mark it as done. Now, before I leave this page, I can view my score, and I already know what I scored. Up here, it says that I got 2 out of 2 points, which means I got 100. But if I had answered this, let's say 3 here, then I would see I got 1 out of 2 because I got one question wrong. If you really don't care what your grade is right now and you just want to wait for it to be returned to you, that's perfectly fine. You don't have to click on that box, and you can click on Open Assignment, and it'll take you back there. And again, like I said, it automatically turns it in for you, which is awesome because that's one less thing to remember. All right. But we're going to exit out of this one. And again, it's still turned in. It automatically saves for you because it's online. Okay. Now, quizzes are great because, like I said, I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Let's move on. All right, so let's go back to the next one. So again, we're clicking up here, click on classwork. Oh, we have another question. All right, if the teacher writes back, will you get a notification for it? You will not. You will get a notification when you log in, but there's no way to get a notification externally, meaning outside of the app, unless you download the app on your phone or your iPad. Then you'll have the app pop up a notification on your notification bar that someone has commented back on you, or on your post rather, to you. So that's really the only way. Otherwise, you won't receive an email or anything like that. So yes, there is a notification, but if you do not download it and you only use it on the computer, you won't get one. Okay? Hopefully that answers your question. If not, let me know. All right, so now we're moving on to vocabulary. Okay. Oh boy. Oh, create a Google Slides presentation. If you are not familiar with Google Slides, that's fine. I'm going to go through the whole thing right now. Okay? Create a Google Slides presentation using Lesson 3 vocabulary. Okay, let's click on View Assignment. We're going to open it up. And again, we see everything that's listed here. We have also our instructions here. I want to create a Google Slides presentation. Okay? I have nothing done already, so I need to make something from scratch, something brand new. So we'll click on Add or Create again. And since I have nothing, I need to click on Slide. So you'll notice under Create New, I'll click on Slides because it says that I want to make a Google Slides presentation. After this, we'll also go through Docs and Sheets just to make sure that you already have some sort of knowledge walking into it and it makes it a little bit easier on you. All right. So we'll click on Slides and it'll say Creating Google Slides. Now that's fine. Just wait for it to load up and it says Test Student. Now that's the name that I'm logged in currently right now. In order to create my Google slide, I want to click here and it will open up my brand new presentation. All right, don't worry about that. That's just saying that editors can see your history, which is pretty much your teacher. All right, I know what I'm working on because it's already named for me, adding vocabulary. And if I need to go back to see what the instructions are again, I just click on this tab up here and it goes right back to my assignment. All right, create a Google Slides presentation using Lesson 3 vocabulary. I have no idea what the Lesson 3 vocabulary is, so we'll just make up some words, right? Okay. This is where we're going to take a lot of time because I want to make sure that you know exactly what is happening, okay? First off, we are given a slide. On the left side here, these are all of the slides that you will be creating or have created already, right? We have one slide right now, which is what we're looking at here where I'm circling my cursor. And there's nothing on it yet. It says click to add title, but that's just giving us the option to put something there. If I click on it, it opens up a text box. Okay. It's outlined by the blue. And the text box has the little cursor that's blinking right here, and that shows me where I get to type, right? All right. I'm going to call this something simple. I'm going to call it the exact same thing that my teacher asked me to call it. Adding vocabulary. Perfect. If I don't want a text box, let's say either it's already given to me or I want to get rid of it because accidentally I put it in, I can click on it. And then I have to make sure, see how this blinking cursor is still here? That's where I can type, right? I want to make sure that my cursor, this little arrow right here that I'm moving, when I go over this blue line, anywhere on this blue line on the box, right? It shows up with the 4 arrows. If I click there, my box still stays, but it still says click to add subtitle, or that blinking cursor at least goes away, right? I can now delete it. So on my keyboard, I'm going to click delete. And poof, it goes away. Uh-oh, what if I made a mistake though? What if I really didn't want to delete that? Up here, we have our undo and redo button, right? If I made an oopsie, if I made an uh-oh, I can click on the one that goes back to the left. Notice how it pops up with undo, and it'll bring it back. Oh man, maybe I really did want that box to go away. Well, let's just go the opposite way and click on redo, and it redoes the thing that we just did. Okay, so again, text boxes are where we can type, and they show up with that blue box around them. All right, now what if I want a new slide? Obviously, I'm not going to be putting everything on one slide. If you've been in class with teachers who have used PowerPoint or have used Google Slides before, you'll see that obviously they have different slides they use, right? So let's add a new slide. Now I want to put my vocabulary in. Up here at the top, you'll see the little plus here, and it says when I stay on it long enough, new slide. Okay, so we're going to click on it. If I click on the plus sign, it gives me a new slide automatically. If I click on the arrow, you'll see it says new slide with layout. If I click on the arrow, it gives me all of these different layouts. Now, these are the ones that are pre-made. They're already made for you to use. You don't have to use them. You can even click on a blank one if you want, or you can click on one and then, like I said before, delete what you don't want. Okay? So let's delete what I don't want. Now, I want to stop for a second. If this is a lot of information for you, there is a video up that has all of this information that you can rewatch, and you can rewatch and rewatch. I know it's a lot. And this tutorial is not meant to be something where I just hang you out to dry after the first time. Definitely rewatch, definitely ask for help, all right? So when we have our new slide here, I have nothing here. It's blank, right? I want to add a text box. Up here is your toolbar. We've already done some with it, some of the things up here. We added a new slide, we went back, we went forward. This icon right here is your select tool. That's just the little arrow. See how it matches up? That's where you can select things or click and drag to move things around, right? The next one next to it is your text box. Now your text box, if you click on it, highlights yellow. That means you're using the text box feature, okay? You'll notice that it has the little plus sign. Now what I want to do is click and drag, okay? That creates my text box. You'll have your cursor. You get to type in whatever you want to. And then I can resize it by clicking on any of these little blue mini boxes, right? So I can go in, I can go from the corner and go all around like this. I can turn it. It's up to you, okay? So that's text boxes. Next is your insert image box. You can upload from the computer, you can search from the web, you can look through your Drive, your Google Photos, by URL, which means that you got it from a website, or you can take a picture and upload it directly. Here's your shapes tool. So if we click on this, there's different shapes that we can use. For instance, the box, they all work the same way. Click on what you want, click where you want, hold it down, and drag. Let go, and it gives you your text or your shape box too. And then we can also deal with lines, different kinds of lines, lines that have dots, lines that have arrows. Let's say we want that one. Again, click, hold to drag, and then let go for it to insert. Okay? Again, if I want to add another slide, press the plus to do an automatic one, or press the down arrow to choose your format, the ones that are pre-made for you. Okay? All right, let's say I'm done now. Okay? I am completely done with this. I want to turn it in. Okay? Up here in this top part, kind of tiny, but it has a little cloud, right? And it has a little check mark. Now I want you to keep your eye on that while I type here. Just watch that cloud while I type something. Oh, okay. So it changed, right? It changed to this saving symbol, which means that it's saving your document. Now, super quickly, it says save to drive. Perfect. Guess what? Now, if I accidentally exit out or purposely exit out, even 100% saved. Okay. As long as you have that little cloud with a check mark icon in it, you're good to go. I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to exit out. And this, if I click right back on it again to go back in, let's say I forgot something, I have everything in there that I just did. All right. So you don't have to worry about accidentally exiting out as long as that little cloud icon with the check mark pops up. Okay. Now I want to turn it in. It should automatically be uploaded if you created a new one, or it'll be uploaded if you uploaded it from your computer. And then you want to hit turn in. It'll tell you what attachment is up there. And then you'll hit turn in again. And you're done. Again, some assignments allow you to unsubmit. Let's say, oh no, I made a mistake. I forgot to add something, or I wanted to take something out. Click unsubmit and then turn it in again. Don't forget to turn it in again. Don't forget that. All right. So let's see. We've gone over questions and adding different documents, pictures, or whatnot to things, and we've gone over a quiz. The last thing that I want to talk about is this homework thing. You'll notice that this icon has a little book with a bookmark. If I click on it, or well, if I click on this in general, this is called a material. It says view material down here. We'll click there. Materials are not graded. They never will be graded. That's the point of a material. They're basically just to have your teacher upload, let's say, reference materials, or it could be uploading a book for you to read, any pages for you to print out that are not graded, things like that. Like, for instance, this one, please print out this blank US map. We will be using it to discuss division on Friday. How we're going to use it, I don't know, but we'll figure it out. If I click on this, right now it is a JPG, which is an image, which it says image right there. And what I can do is print it. Okay, the little printer icon. Other than that, you can always leave it as is and then just look at it on the computer when it ends up being class time where you're going to be using it. But it depends on what your teacher wants you to do. All right, so the last thing that I want to go over is just a quick review of everything. Your stream is where you're going to put everything up. Again, that's looking at any announcements that you're going to be using, and also any assignments that are put up. Your classwork is where you're going to see all of your classwork in one spot. And then the last thing that I want to do is go over Google Meet. Now, Google Meet is the way that you're going to be communicating with your teacher visually while they're doing direct instruction, small group instruction, or if you need any extra help during class time. The easiest way to do this is called your little apps drawer, or some people call it the little 9 dots icon. It's up to you, whatever you want to call it. You can nickname it Fred for all I care. Whatever way you remember it. Open the Google Apps drawer right here. If we click on it, we're going to get a lot of stuff. Some of this we already know about. Drive, that's your folder for online. Classroom, that's where you're going to be learning. Docs, sheets, slides. But you're going to look at Meet. Ah, perfect. We just had a question come up, and I'm going to be going over this right now. That's perfect timing. How are the students getting the Meet code for Google Meet, and will it change daily? All right. The second part of that question of changing daily is up to your student, or up to your teacher. My bad, sorry. Your teacher may keep it the same, or they may change it. But you'll notice that you are only able to put a meet code in. So you're definitely going to have to be able to pay attention to what your teacher is sending out. It may be sent as an announcement over here. It could be something that your teacher announces saying, "Hey, good morning. Your Google Meet code today is going to be apples." Or it could be something that could be sent over class tag. Um, it depends on what your teacher is going to be doing. So make sure that you are um, asking them what's happening. But when you get that code, you will click here and you will type it in. Once you click continue, you will see a code or you'll see the join option pop up. And from there, you'll be able to see your teacher and you'll be able to see everything that is connected. Let's say they're using the doc cam to write notes, or maybe they're just having a visual face to face kind of thing with everybody and having a group discussion. It depends on what your teacher's going to use it for, but this is where you will go. So, one more time, we'll exit out of that. To get there, it's your little 9 dots up here next to your letter of your name. Click there, and you're going to find Meet. Now, it might be all the way down here, it might be somewhere up here, but you will look for this specific icon called Meet. And again, it pops up directly where you need to be, and then you type in your Meet code. All right. One more time, stream, classwork, those are the things that you want to worry about for your assignments, and then your apps drawer for Google Meets. Right. Well, hopefully that gave you a little bit of insight. If you have any other questions, keep them coming. We'll be on for a little bit longer. Let's see. We do have another question. If anyone wants to change to in person learning, okay, this is very important. Let's say that right now you're already signed up for virtual. If you want to change to in person learning, please email Mrs. Grimm at KGRIMM, that's Mrs. Grimm, kgrimm at gccas.org tomorrow so that we can make the change for you. Mhm. Also, if you are an online student, you your parents rather, sorry. Your parents must sign and return the online teaching contract by tomorrow, that's Friday, at 4 p.m. All right, so again, if you are online and have not signed that contract yet, the parents need to sign that contract and hand that in by tomorrow, Friday, at 4 p.m. One big thing is going to be tech issues. Now, we understand that it's not going to be the most ideal situation, and we want you to bear with us as much as we will bear with you. We will be working together as closely as we are able to, and there might be some times where the internet goes down either in your house or at school. But if that happens, then make sure to reach out to your teacher or the school, either via email or class tag. And then you will also be able to hopefully have something that is posted up for you to see later on via YouTube for review. Now, in the first week, we probably won't have that many assignments. We're aiming for it to be a learning week where we just get used to Google Meet, get used to the videos being played and everything. So, your assignments will most likely be videos to watch and assignments that are just posted up for you to do. All right. All right. So,